If you're like most phone users, you've installed over 60 apps on your device. Most of those apps contain trackers that communicate your data with dozens of potential third parties. Every day, your location data is beamed to hundreds of servers, and whoever is running those servers or intercepting traffic between them and your phone can track where you are, what you do, and even who you are. In the world of what some would call surveillance capitalism, the onion router is the most essential line of defense. As an anonymous overlay network, Tor makes your true location extremely difficult to trace over the internet. After disabling location services, anonymizing your internet traffic is an immediate next step you should follow for better online privacy. This is how Tor helps you protect the data on your phone. It hides what apps or services you're using from Wi-Fi networks, your internet service provider, and the government. It conceals your true location by hiding your IP address from all the apps and websites you visit, and obfuscating your traffic and original IP address makes it impossible for attackers to target you based on your IP address with malicious JavaScript or updates. Tor does not make you unhackable, but short of living off the grid, it's the next best thing for your anonymity, privacy, and security. Getting started with Tor is actually surprisingly easy. In this tutorial, we'll be focusing on using Tor on the most sensitive device you have, your phone. Depending on how much information you want to protect, you may choose to run Tor in two ways, system-wide or for specific apps only. Both of these methods have their pros and cons and are useful in different scenarios. By routing your entire device traffic over Tor, you eliminate all potential leaks of sensitive information. However, if you need to access identity-sensitive apps, especially banking apps, using Tor may result in locking yourself out of your accounts. Signing into accounts tied to your real identity can also correlate your Tor activity with those accounts, and that can de-anonymize you. The best approach when running Tor system-wide is to apply to devices that aren't connected to your real-life accounts. Journalists in the field might want to take a separate device, Torify its whole traffic when working, and leave a personal phone at a secure location. If you only have one phone, it's probably a good idea to run Tor for specific apps only and route the rest of your device over the clear net. But this is not as anonymous as using Tor system-wide with no connections to your real identity. But many programs can be configured to route their individual traffic over Tor with the use of Orbot. And some apps like the Tor Browser are already pre-configured to run their own traffic through Tor. When using Tor in this polarized way, an observer monitoring your traffic would see what servers non-Torified apps request alongside ambiguous connections to the Tor network initiated by the Torified apps. They won't be able to figure out where your Tor traffic is going unless they have really advanced and sophisticated methods to specifically attack your device and traffic. If that's your case, you should be doing some heavy cardio workout instead of watching this video, because you're on for a long run, my dude. Both cases are equally simple to set up, although they may require different levels of alertness and operation security. Either way, using Tor is extremely advantageous to protect your online privacy, and targeting Tor users is much more demanding on time, resources, and scale than targeting regular people. So don't fall for the myth that using Tor makes you stand out. There are millions of people using Tor every day. The more people use Tor, the better everyone gets. The easiest way to start with Tor is to run specific apps that are already pre-configured to be routed through the Tor network and work your way up from there. The best place to begin is with the Tor browser. On Android, you can download the official Tor browser straight from Google Play Store or F-Droid. Unfortunately, iPhones don't have any official Tor application available. Tor-enabled apps like the Onion browser do exist on iOS, but they are not maintained by the official Tor developers. It is also impossible to use the official apps to run Tor system-wide on any iPhone. The freedom to reliably use Tor without any restrictions is why Android is a much more superior choice for online privacy and anonymity than an iPhone. It is best to follow this tutorial and use Tor on an Android device. Tor browser, for the most part, is like any other browser. The main exception is that each time you launch it, you need to make an additional tap on the Connect button to initiate Tor connection. On the first launch of the Tor browser, you should be introduced to choose your security settings. If you're just testing out the waters, leave it at standard mode. However, despite all the beautiful powers of the web, you're treading on a fundamentally vulnerable territory. Every time you visit a website, your browser is rendering JavaScript code that can be attempting to exploit vulnerabilities on your phone. By increasing your security level, Tor Browser allows you to easily mitigate these threats. Safer mode disables all non-encrypted JavaScript and media, which is often used by hackers to steal your data from the web. The safest mode is what I would eventually recommend to everyone because it will disable all JavaScript and media, even the legitimate ones. And the issue with these features is that even if they deliver content that doesn't seem malicious, like ads or videos, they are still used to fingerprint, track, and de-anonymize you. So to get the maximum guarantees of anonymity and privacy when using Tor, it's best to disable JavaScript for all websites. If you need certain website features to work again, you can easily revert your security level and reload your website. Because Tor Browser doesn't save your browser data, the only way to remember websites for later is with bookmarks. When you restart, your browser history, cookies, and cache will be wiped, giving you a clean slate for each new browser session. What makes your browsing habits difficult to track isn't just the anonymous Tor network, it's your browser configuration as well. So other than the security settings, do not make any other changes to your browser, as that will make you stand out and you will be an easier target. There are only a few things you can tweak based on your needs. If Tor is censored in your country, or you just don't want your ISP or the government to know you're using Tor, enable Tor bridges in the Tor network settings. Tor bridges are entry nodes that are exactly the same as other entry nodes on the Tor network, with the only exception they are not publicly listed. When you enable Tor bridges, your traffic will look like regular clear net. All versions of the official Tor browser ship with 2 add-ins, and you shouldn't add any more. HTTPS Everywhere enforces encryption on websites that support it. You may want to set it to block all unencrypted traffic, which will make your browsing even more secure. Stick to this rule and don't disable it when you visit unencrypted websites. For a more granular control over what JavaScript is allowed or blocked, Tor Browser utilizes NoScript. If you are on the safest security level and a website is broken because of disabled JavaScript, you may choose to temporarily trust JavaScript on the domains of your choice. On the New York Times website, I can enable scripts on nytimes.com and nyt.com, but leave all the Google scripts blocked. It is still possible for trackers to exist on the New York Times domain, but most websites rely solely on third-party trackers, so it's better to block those. Remember that the best practice is to use Tor as much as possible, preferably for everything that works with it. So use Tor Browser for all browsing, search, and opening links. Even in cases where you can't expect complete anonymity, the more you use Tor, the more expensive and less useful collection of your and our private data becomes. Orbot. Anonymizing your browsing records is one of the most important steps to protect your online privacy. But why stop there when you can just as easily anonymize the rest of your phone's traffic? That's what Orbot was made to do. Orbot is an official Tor application for Android that can route any app on your phone to go through Tor. The setup is very simple. Start Orbot to initiate connection and enable VPN mode. If you leave the VPN mode as it is, it will route your entire device's traffic over Tor. This can give you full anonymity, but only if you don't have any real-life social media accounts connected. But it still makes sense to use Tor even for social media apps if you want to prevent them from tracking your IP address in real time. To run only certain apps through Tor, tap on the cog icon and select which apps Orbot should Torify. This will disable full device VPN and only route your selected apps over Tor. When running Tor system-wide, there may be apps trying to bypass Tor and leak your data to the clear net. Head to your network settings, expand Advanced, and go to VPN. Open Orbot configuration and enable Always On VPN and block connections without VPN. This should prevent apps from making connections outside of the Tor network. Another way to make sure your phone is always routed over Tor is to set manual proxy settings for the networks you connect to. In the advanced network settings for your Wi-Fi, set proxy hostname to localhost and proxy port to 8118. Use these same proxy settings in access point names in your self data settings. It wouldn't be a proper Tor app if it didn't let you use Tor bridges. So if you want to hide the fact you're hiding on Tor, simply enable Tor bridges. Orbot provides one quite special cosmetic feature worth mentioning. The default global mode can be narrowed down to a specific country to access geo-restricted content. This essentially turns Tor into a free VPN service, even though Tor is not a VPN. In Orbot settings, you may want to enable Start Orbot on boot to avoid accidentally leaving it off after reboot. In the connectivity preferences, check the box for Isolate Destination Addresses. This will split Tor circuits for different servers you connect to, which further protects you from being tracked. Other than that, leave all the other settings untouched unless you know what you're doing. But as an introduction to using Tor on a phone, this is all you need to get started. The final advice is to always keep in mind that Tor is not all you need to remain anonymous. It is essential, but you need to be smart about what you do and disclose on the internet. Follow my Tor tutorial playlist for some of the basic operation security guidelines to avoid compromising your own anonymity. Support this free content by engagement, subscribe and join my channel, and support me on Patreon. Thank you.